go, 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 go. So when I say go, you go through the full set. All right? Go. Go. All right? And close.
Okay, one more time. Moving too bad.
All right.
Actually, on this one, I like us just to all just do it. Okay? On your own. Just go through it and just do it.
All right. Whenever you're ready, just go and go.
Okay, form. All right, and there's a lot to that, actually. I'm going to play with you guys just a little bit before we get into what we were trying to get into as far as combat goes. So the purpose of form is about mind-body connection. That's it. But there are aspects of the form and how the form moves that where there's different attack techniques and what that come through with it. But form is really about connecting. So when you're making moves like this here, and you're coming down from here out, you want to move far. So you want to express the form when you're moving the form. You really want to express the movement because you really want to connect more with your body. It's a lot different, especially this form because it deals with fighting. It's a lot different than just doing forms to look pretty. So the aspect of form is really about mind-body connection. Using a form for fighting and bringing it in has different aspects of it because most forms are pretty abstract. So you see the forms that are like done on, people are really good, you know, like you watch like wushu and they're doing the forms for competition and stuff like that there, but that's not fighting. So aspects of the form and what you got to be doing is how can you take a move from that and bring it into a fighting technique. So there's a lot of abstract movement in this particular form, and years and years and years ago, when I was doing a lot of fighting, this form I pulled out, this was a straight line, and I took aspects of this form and was able to apply it to combat. So I really wanted to give you an idea of what form work is. Form work is not that you're going to be doing this form and all of a sudden you're going to glow in the dark and you're going to have this mastery. Most people that do forms that look pretty and whatnot with all the sword work and stuff like that there, I hate to say this, can't fight their way out of a paper bag. The idea of form work is to actually combine mind and body so you have a better understanding of your body. So as I was watching you guys do the form, each of you expressed it differently, but not too many of you really grasped the movement of the form, or what it's doing. Like you weren't moving true to what your body can be doing. And that's what you're trying to discover. Obviously, it takes time, you know? No matter how many years you've been in the art, you'll always be making different improvements on it. But what I like to play with, just to see where your heads are at, right? Before we go into what we would what you were doing with the 4-4, right? Bringing that down. About targeting and all that stuff comes in. Form, again, is about understanding your footwork, getting things going, blah, blah, blah. But you don't fight form. You know what I mean? You don't get out there and you're not doing all the stuff that you see in the movies or any of that stuff. And you always have to be able to generate power. So if you saw the little movement I did here, I was also working on how it was expressing from my center and the power of the form. Not the idea of doing form to look pretty. To really break it down to have a better connection with it. So what I wanted to ask you guys, if you had to pick a section of that form, let's just say, let's do something a little bit abstract. So you got this motion here where you're coming this way here, you're coming around, and you're going this way, right? And you're hitting. How would you use that in real life? Anybody want to volunteer for that? So you can bring one person out and you can actually use it. So how would you, what move? Now, remember the move that you're doing here is not, you're not going to stand in front of somebody. Come out here, Tim. Right? Tim's got a fighting stance, right? Tim's got, I'm not going to stand here and go this way here and this way here. And then, so I'm going to club him like this here. That's not the move, right? So how would you interpret what that movement is trying to show you in the form? So you got the chops and stuff, which will show, and this is going to lead into what Vic was talking about before. So Vic's demonstration on the last time we did it was very, very good. Right? It was good, very informative, but when you are striking or when you're moving, you have to be very specific about where you're targeting. Right? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's just take an aspect of this form and see what you guys come up with as far as using in a fighting style. So you may want to, who wants to go first? Let's have Julia go first. No, you don't want to go first? You have no idea what that is, right? So basically you're doing form, not even know what the hell you're doing it for. See, that's what I want to stop. People do forms thinking that somehow it's going to show me something. What a form is showing you is better connection. All right, let's talk about connection. Your left and your right hand have a different consciousness. Your pinky, your left pinky, your right pinky have a different consciousness, have a different movement. The idea of form is to connect the mini brains of your whole system to move more fluently. That's all form is. So if you take people like that are out there and they're doing the, I was just watching some Wusu demonstration where these women were out there, just amazing. Just, like, I don't know where they're going to be when they're older, the things that they're doing to their joints and whatnot, but amazing to watch. But as far as fighting, no. But just the body control, the idea, so they got, that aspect of it's important. But my concern is combat, and how you can bring it into combat. So you're watching the movement and stuff, very fluent and stuff like that there. But to bring it into combat is a whole different ballgame. So when you're practicing your form, the first thing you want to do is work with your center. You want to bring it all in like the Tai Chi. And you want to express the form, not just do the form. And what I saw you guys were doing was just, you're not expressing the form, you're just doing the form. So you're not expressing yourself. You're not finding your own movement in the mini brains. You're moving very mechanically. Right? All right, so that's something you want to work on because that's the whole aspect of the form, 30 moves, all the form works that you do, which Vic knows them all. I don't really do those forms anymore. I'm more into the 5-element form. So it's just good that Vic is here and he's got his, and you too, I think you have all the form work as well, right?
Yeah, 3/4.
All right, so we'll have to work on that because form's important. There's just a lot of forms. There was a point in my life when I had like 48 forms, right? And it would take me 2 days to practice to go through different form. I would go through different, I need more weapon forms, staff forms and stuff. And one day, like I said, they really did associate with my body matrix. So that's what you're trying to discover, right? So wherever you are, you're not going to move like me. You're not going to represent me. You're going to try to find and represent yourself. That's the purpose of movement in the form. All right, so let's take an aspect of the form. And I picked the most abstract one, where you're coming this way here, and you're coming down, and you're coming out with this. How would you actually utilize that and use it in a fight? You want to jump into that? Anybody want to? Let's take you, Venom. Yeah. And let's bring Tim out here. All right? So if you had to express the different ways of actually using that, right? How would you do it? Okay, you don't know.
No.
Okay, that's good to know, right? Get out of there, right? Oh, wait a minute, you're out there. Get back out there. How would you use it?
Red zone. Start.
Well, just show me. How would you use it? You don't know either. No. All right, this is a good section, right? Maybe that's not bad. That's not bad because that's like coming down. That gets it to a little bit of grappling. That may work. Anybody else want to get out there?
I see it as a form of a grapple or a throw.
Yeah, but you just got to see like how are you moving, how are you expressing it. Venom, you want to get out here?
Sure.
All right.
So I guess for me, the movement, power of movement comes from the down motion.
You tell me.
Sure.
You tell me what that form is showing you. So really,
It's not this. Sorry. So there you go a little bit.
Cool.
So here, there. I'm working off of that body movement. For each one of these.
all right. So you're coming more into the grappling technique.
Yeah.
So if somebody's standing in front of you like that, and standing in front of you,
What I'm really
how-
looking about is that dropping and moving with this.
so how would you go into him?
So
He's just standing in a fighting position.
Yeah.
So what would be your, stand more this way, guys, facing this way. So they can actually see what you're doing, right? Okay, so how would you do it on your take-in?
So from here, kind of using that entry motion, right where you're stepping in, right? Here. So that first move, you're kind of doing the extension and then turning. So here, the whole body comes in, and then that's where that drop comes in.
Okay, so that's not too bad. You're getting some aspects of a form movement.
Add all that hand motion as well, so like the elbow coming through here. Right, start to use that for my locks and my tie-up, so all that comes in.
All right.
Right, and I can
What
add
else? What else does it show you?
For me, a lot of center movement. So just grounding, working, wrapping, but everything comes from how you're readjusting. And for me, it's about kind of condensing this down with every one of the movements that I'm doing.
Okay, so on that one particular move, does anybody else want to? Julie, you don't want to give it a shot? All right, so when you talk about the movement and the form work, right, and the abstractness of it. So Vic did a pretty good demonstration. The idea of, on these here was just to come around here, move. And what I would like to work on, you guys, is more floating your movement from the strike, coming from your strike and coming back. So here, you see how my movement stays steady. All right, so we talked about body connection. So body connection, right? So if Venom is out here, you see this movement here, where I'm coming out and I'm moving this way and I'm coming this way here. All this movement is an idea of how to express the form. So just simple, if he's standing here, he's fighting, this movement here, right, is showing all this, how to move in. Also, this motion here, as far as getting body connection, is teaching you how to move. So here, I'm taking a motion, this movement here is giving me this. You see? If I'm coming in, motion here, it's giving me this to move, it's giving me this to move, right? It's giving me this. See this punch here? Right? See this punch here? So if we're standing, we're moving, boom! You see how that moves? Because all this angles here is teaching you how to connect with your core and the center of movement. So the abstract movement that's in the form has a lot of real application. So Vic took it more literally coming into the motion. So if I'm here and I'm moving this way, and I come in, then the strike has got to be different because the first part of the motion here is coming this way and steps in. So here I move, right? But it's hit, move, come in. Well, of different aspects of the form. So what it's trying to do is connect your body movement to real life movement. All right, so if I'm standing out here and we're moving around, you see how that strike came out? That's from the form, right? This strikes slowly. This strikes slowly, right? From here, this movement. So if I'm coming here, here, you see how it strikes? We're moving around, you see? So the form is showing you how to better connect with your body, but how to bring it into combat. Right? So it's not so literal. When you're going to do like the takedowns that you were doing, and if he's out here, the first is to lead. I'm leading. You see how this dropped from here? But I'm still using the form. Still doing these movements because it's freeing up my shoulder movement. It's allowing me to express that move better. And you guys have a really hard time in the 5-element form trying to do that. Right? If I take this and I'm moving, we're moving, bam! You see how it moves from here? But it's still the same movement. So the more you practice your form, the better you're going to connect with your mini brains. But that's what it is, it's just form. To bring it into fighting, it's where you really want to go. But what it is this gives your body better movement to express it in fighting. That's what all form's supposed to do. So when you see, I'm not putting down movies when we talk about blocking and get into that, but yeah, I am. Because movies are all set so that you can see it, the viewer can watch it. But that's not fighting, that's not combat. And then when you got ring fighting, any ring fighter, good ring fighter like Tyson, or, you know, the main martial art guys that are out there, they'll tell you, hey, combat in the ring, they will tell you, it's not like combat in real life. Because real life, everything goes. So the whole aspect is to be able to see more movement, to picture more movement, and to understand first through the form what the hell you're doing. So you should be doing your form, connecting, but you should be expressing more from your center. That's what comes out there, and that will increase your speed and your power. You know, we're going to take another aspect of the form too. But here, if I'm moving here and I take it and I move this way. So now my punch, same punch from doing this here is coming down, boom, boom, and then I come up. I can take it and move here. So if he's moving around, I can just target it. And then don't forget the legs come up. It makes your specific targeting, which is what I wanted to talk about with what you were talking about. And that's why I thought this would be a great aspect to kind of show it so that you guys understand what the form work actually is. You don't do form and go out into a ring and fight, you know, a mixed martial art guy. He's got to just freaking bury it. I remember years ago, I won't mention any names because the fighter out there was really good. This one guy comes out, was very good, looked really great doing his form work. But when he got out to fight, he's fighting this one guy, he's doing all this stuff here, and the guy just laid him out. Boom, boom, the fight was done in 2 seconds. I remember one time I took a group of guys, and there was this guy who was new, he's a white belt. Some biker guy, big beer belly. I liked him. Beard, the whole 9 yards. I don't even know what the hell he was doing there. And I had some first level students many, many years ago. So I went to this one tournament I was invited to go to. And he saw this one guy who was doing this martial art. I think it was the one that does a lot of kicking, Taekwondo or...
Taekwondo, yeah.
Is that they do a lot of kicking in that, okay? And he's out there, he's doing his form, he looked great. The white belt, brand new, gets out there, and the guy with the form is fighting. So they have a... So I asked the guy, so at the end the guy's doing, of course he had all this pretty movement, but ineffective. It was ineffective. And the guy who was brand new was just out there, and you could just tell he was just being polite, because, you know, he was the white belt, and this guy was the the showman, you know? It's not about show. And I asked my students at that time, who are pretty rough around the edges, you know, who do you think would have won that fight? I said, oh, the guy with the beard, the white belt, would have just crushed this guy. I said, yeah, he looked real good, he had the demo, he had all this stuff, but in a real life fight, that guy would have buried him. It shouldn't be that way. So I really wanted to kind of explain, and Nick asked me to explain a little bit what form work actually is, and how it works, and how you could see how it actually works, right? From this movement, right? From this movement, the moving down, hitting and coming in, it's just boom. So you saw these low punches, you saw these high punches, but strictly in the form doing this. You know how hard it is for me to just stay with one thing. Because systems within systems is about amalgamating movement. So you could see this here and how awesomely effective it is. Now if I did it knife hands, if I did it here, we're standing here, and I come this way here, and I this way here, I just took my fingers, poked it, and it boom, came along here. This motion here, where you see this here, I'm coming this way and here, boom, it's showing how to just come in, boom, and then I take the hits, come to the throat, right? That's targeting, and that's what you're learning through the form movement. So it's abstract, but there's all this combat that's in it. The idea of movement is so that you get better at connecting to your body consciousness. Body consciousness, your matrix of your body. You guys are all younger than me, but I have a very good connection from so many years of my body. And I never really, when I was very young, you know, I believed in the forms, but I could never see anything in them until I started breaking them down. You know, and realized that my movement was what was important. That's the important thing. Discovering your mechanics of your body movement. Being able to express it better. So like when we take the form here, when I was trying to teach you guys that one class, and when you're taking this movement, you're coming here, and you're coming out here, coming here and here. It's about here, how this hand is coming back. It isn't this way, how you guys do it. It's not that. See, that's your interpretation of it. You could see when I'm striking and I'm demonstrating it, it's not like that. So if I'm doing something here, this is the whole point of this motion here, it's how my hand's coming back and setting up for the next one. I could take this and plow this right to his own neck. Right? I could just go, boom, hit this, it's got bam, and then come in from here. Right? Because you know me on combat, it's, you know, a person models something, you got to attack. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So when you guys are practicing your form, you have to be mindful of the movement, how you're stepping, how you're moving, to try and get a better idea of how your body matrix is connecting. To get the mini brains to move throughout the consciousness so you get better understanding of your left side, your right side, your movement, your center, how you're coming through on things. Right? And that's the important aspect of form. That's what form is supposed to do. You're not supposed to fight form. It's supposed to take aspects of that form and go. So you guys are still fighting. When you're doing this, you're going one. Or you're getting very poetic. Like Vic likes getting very poetic. It's all about how I'm coming back. One, this is coming back. How this is coming out. How this is moving out. I'm not just going here and then coming, you know, out. The step here. How I'm moving. How I'm moving with that step. There's power in it. There's expression in it. Well, if you guys can start to pull that out, it's going to change your movement and your expression. You're going to evolve your technique. Now, if you're evolving for competition, if you're evolving to look good or be in a show, that's a whole different ballgame. You guys are evolving for combat. So what I saw was okay, but it wasn't you. You were just doing it. You know, it really wasn't expressing who you are, discovering the elements that exist within your body, discovering earth, discovering fire. Right? We're all from the elements. You can't escape that. Right? And each one has a different knack of expressing who you are. Are you more fire or wood? You don't even know. Do you know what wood even is? Right? as far as in organics, right?
Trees are made of.
What trees are made of? Well, in your case, it would be a sap.
That's what my head is made of.
Yeah, suck that sap right out of there, right? Fire, earth, steel. Also express personalities. All of this comes through your form work. It's really about getting in touch with the different levels of consciousness within your brain and body. Brain being part of the body. Mind moving through the body. What is it? Lao Tzu said, when the mind moves through the body, it becomes like water, you can truly express yourself. Christ even said, when the inside becomes the outside, when the outside becomes the inside, then you'll have understanding. Basically, when yin becomes yang and yang becomes yin, but because of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Catholics got rid of that. We don't want to know that, we just want to bring us. So, true art is about self-discovery. That's what form is. Is everybody on the same page with me? Do you know what I'm talking about? When you guys did form, it was boring. There was no you in it. And you interpret what you are. So you all do it what you think you are. That's not discovery. You're not discovering anything through the movement. And as years go by, it's like a drop of water in a bucket. Eventually, if you took a drop of water in a bucket and you're practicing, the bucket fills up. If you put that bucket in a tub, eventually it overflows into the tub and the tub fills up. That's practice. That's understanding the different levels of consciousness. You guys, egos get in the way, all this stuff gets in the way. You're not truly practicing. You're just like doing it, okay, what's the next form? Oh, I got this form, I got that form. Like I said, I would cut down all the forms. I kept all the forms that everybody hated. And that's what I, started developing systems within systems with that. So, you see the difference. So, if you're getting into like what you're doing, you brought your experience with jiu-jitsu into it. What is it that you do? What is that, jiu-jitsu? Is that what the name of it? It's called jiu-jitsu? All right, so,
Things I do, yeah.
but you also do something else. What do you do with Manny?
I teach jiu-jitsu. It's a different kind of jiu-jitsu. Also,
It's more combat, right? Yes,
it's
no?
more internal.
More internal.
It's an internal style of jiu-jitsu.
Manny, where's he at? Where's Manny at? Where's Manny teach at?
Bayonne.
Bayonne.
Yeah.
Look that guy up. He's a serious dude. Manny. All right? What's it called again?
Aikido jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I can't remember. I've been hit. Guys, I've been in heads many times. My head is very hard to hurt. I've been hit with boards and bricks and everything else. So, you see the difference in that? You guys don't do that. And the reason I'm showing this a little bit is because of what you did in that last demonstration. That was lacking. The whole format was there, the whole form, the aspects of it, but the true expression of it didn't exist. And that's the idea of form. So let's pick another part. So let's take the very beginning, right? So when you're coming this way here, and what I really, before we do that, right, the idea of coming out, as I come out, I'm not going to come back here. I'm not going to come up here, right? The whole motion has to be like you're surrounded by the essence of nature. The subatomic world, everything. You're moving through a fluid, which really air and everything is a fluid. You're moving through it. It has to become very present with you, especially in this form work. If you want to do form, and you want to get out there, and you want to demonstrate, and you want to do this, and you want to show off, that's good, but it doesn't have a personal presence. All of you are here, I believe, what you can see, is to self-discover, right? To understand the body matrix. So when you're doing this move, you're not going to do it now, but like I'm not just doing the move, I'm moving through the air, like a fish in the water, right? I'm just, all this has movement of expression as I'm moving through it. I'm expressing my whole body. I know where I'm at. And I don't even do this form anymore. I don't do anything. Everything now is just teaching you guys, combat and the 5-element and the levels of that. But they're there. It's like riding a bike. So I understand the idea because my body has discovered its matrix. It's there, and now I increased it by doing more abstract form work harder form, not really abstract. The 5-element form is just death from the whole thing. It's really about applying combat. But you could see, like in the 5-element form, where the combat has come from, right? And how dangerous it actually is. Striking and getting back. So if I'm here and he's standing here and I strike, I'm not going this way. My strike moves. And I'm doing the same punches that are in the form work because my body matrix is connected to it. You have to get out of your own head. And you've got to get into what your body is telling you to do. All right, so let's pick a different aspect of the form. All right, so you got this here, here, and here. Okay? How would you use that in real life now? Who wants to try? Come on, Julia, you coward. Do you have any idea of how you would use that? Now, this isn't a fail, or you guys are all terrible at it because you just don't know. And that's why I decided to show you what form does and how you are doing it and how can you bring it into real life. How would you express that into real life? You know, how would I hit with that? You know? And I don't want to show you. I want you to see if you can figure something out. Let's take you, Tim. Come out here, Julia.
What was the sequence again?
This one, the first one you're doing, this, and this. How would you express that? How would you use that? Okay, face this way, guys, because we've got people that are watching. Here comes the cereal. All right? How would you express that if you were going to fight with him? Come on, Julia, get mean. I know you're a nasty thing. Yeah, there you go, all right? Get nasty. Damn it, you teach all those kids you gotta be nasty. They're thrown up on you all the time. Okay, so how would you express that in fighting? All you did was the move. Would that work? Would you be able to do that in real life? Would I be able to go this way, this way, this way? How would you use that? All right? Did you like what you did? Yeah. Was there any power in it? All right, Julia, how would you express it? Any way you want, Julia. Come on, get nasty. You don't want to hit Tim. I should have Alex. Alex got a wound out there. I know you like hitting him. Everybody likes hitting Alex.
I want to hit Tim the least, honestly.
I'll come out there if you want.
No,
Just
it's
roll
all
it
right.
out.
We want you to heal up. You know?
I guess, like, in a non-literal sense, it's showing you we don't hit from the side often.
Well, you showed me how you would want to use this technique. You could explain it if you want after.
Okay.
You know, but you saw what he did. What he did, his arm was way out here. All the movement wasn't coming. It wasn't true to what the form is actually trying to show you.
So, like, if
How you
someone's
bring
on
it
your
in.
side and you want to, like, come in on someone, I guess the foot and the arm kind of move them. And then you kind of,
Okay, so you're playing with it a little bit, but it's too much form.
yeah.
How would you use it in combat?
Okay.
Not too bad. That wasn't too bad. You're getting an idea. What else? What else you got that? That punch, right? Okay. All right. All right. Anybody else? Come out here, Ben. Come out here, Vic. Come out here. All right. All my key guys here. How would you express it, Ben? How would you use that?
You're exhibiting.
Don't think about it. How would you use it in combat? Now, you got in combat. In combat, people are moving. They're coming at you. In real combat, people very rarely are retreating. They're coming at you. So you got to be able to use it or you attack right at the beginning, right? In combat, whatever it's got to be. So it's like Miyamoto Musashi says. The first one that comes down with a sword, you're facing like another expert, you know, whoever that expert is, and you're both good at what you do. The other expert could be, you know, a little bit less skilled than the other one, but if he comes down with the sword first, he still comes down with the sword first. You can't play with that. So you've got a guy that's like a tough guy that's been out fighting on the street all the time, he's just tough, or a mixed martial arts guy, or a wushu person that just is tough, getting out there doing what they're doing. It's the first one that comes down with the sword. So your technique has to express and has to also literally understand a person moving at you or retreating. And that's where also the form has to step in. And this form is very linear. It goes straight and comes back. We have forms that go all over the place, but this one goes straight and comes back, right? All right, so how would you, here's an opponent standing here. And that's how he's standing. He's got a nice coverage. right? So in real life, what are you worrying about? You got the two targets here and his legs, right? So you got to worry about it. He doesn't have 5 arms or anything like that, so you got to do. So in this particular style of a form, how would you attack with it? Go ahead. Don't look at me. Tell me if you liked it or not, right? But you want to stay with the technique. So the technique is open hand. Don't do a back fist. Don't close it. But of course you can, if you're expressing it any way you want. You can do whatever you want. But we're trying to stay with the technique, right? So you go and you do what you're doing. It's hard, right? So you're not. So so what are you doing form for? What is the purpose of your form? Where you guys aren't getting it. All right, let's see Vic. Vic's been around you a little bit longer. Let's see how he demonstrates it, right?
Sorry, you good? It's good.
He
Keep
can have
hitting
been
me.
on right method.
So, no problem.
Yeah, well, that's also the bad thing about you guys. You're terrible with range. Terrible. I don't get it. I don't get why you guys are so bad. Just like you go through things. You can't go through things. Oh, and that's where I talked about the pulling back. Right? When you're doing a motion here, how you're coming back. You don't come back, you're trying to go through. So basically, I would take my head and ram it into your fist. And what happens when that happens? Your fist breaks or your hand breaks. This movement is not going to stop me. You know I'm an animal, right? So if you're going this way here, boom, I'm just going to go, and I'm going to go for the honey. I'm going to attack you, right? And that's combat, you know, because you also have to know how to recover from hits, and we'll get into that too. All right, so that's your way of expressing it. It's not bad, you know.
Just
What else? How else should you express the different movements there?
so you come in here, that way too, there.
Okay, that's a good one. That kind of is real life. That's where you got to do your takedowns and come into the person. That's where you're generating stuff. So if you're moving and you're taking movement here, what's the first thing that you're seeing? All right? First thing that you're seeing is where I'm stepping, how I'm stepping. So I could step here, or I could step here, or I could step here, right? So it's given this motion. So if I'm standing here and I'm coming out, it's first showing me my range. I'm coming out with my range, here, coming out, boom, step behind and come in. Or I could come in, it's showing also that this is step out, it's showing where I'm coming from, and how far I'm going to be moving in to come up with movements to come in on somebody, right? So the step is dealing with range, right? If he's standing like he's fighting me, this motion here, I see this hand comes in here. So this becomes a tool, right? This becomes a tool. If I come in here, right? Then the hit comes in here. Then I'm coming up. And this is where you can come in. They come into the body. This motion here, from the step, if I'm coming in this way, I could just move up. Or I could take this motion here, step in, and move up. All right? So it's just a different way of stepping, but it's all coming from your form movement. So if we're standing with movement, I could just step here, and this, I came in here, boom, and that's where this comes through. Then I combine it with this punch, if I wanted to. You see? So Vic did a really good demonstration with the down motion coming here, coming behind the legs, but it's also the idea of form is when you pull back, which is why you always hit people. So how would you practice that outside of your form work? Get that little ball and practice your form in front of the ball. I like primitive weapons, primitive tools. You hang a little tennis ball from a ceiling and you just practice your hitting from the form. But you practice it like real life. So if Tim is out here and he's got his hands up, I'm practicing here. I can take this hit, which is coming out here, and take it as a hit. See how I'm hitting? Take it, boom, as a hit. Then, boom, come up with the punch. So, not that you got to do that. You know, it probably wouldn't be necessary to do that. But when I'm striking, right, if I take this strike, and I told you this is a tool, I could, boom, I struck here. So this movement it comes here. Then it switches, right, and comes here, and then up. So it's good to practice on something so you stop, and how you're coming back. You guys don't think about coming back. All you want to do is hit something. And that's not going to give you the ability to come back and cover. Yeah, right? All right, so what other aspect of the form do we have? Yeah, I want to see you guys play this a little bit. Is this informative? Informative?
The punch kick, because if you're, what's happening there?
Yeah, you tell me.
My hand is not as long as my foot.
That's the first lesson. Right?
There's one
There's a
person
punch
here and
kick.
one person here.
Right. Remember we did that one class where I had you guys punch and try to throw your kicks, right? So that's why you see in the ring, you know, they're all dancing and stuff like that. But combat, no. It's very direct, and the form's very abstract that way, right? It's like a joke, right? Where you're doing the punch kick. So, say you're not thinking of it as a punch kick. And again, let's go back to what form is. Vic, tell me what form is, what we talked about in the beginning. Disappearing hands. It's this. What is it like in the beginning? What's form? Why are you doing form?
My body connection.
Yes. It's about body connection. That's the whole idea of form. Stop thinking about it, but you can take pieces of it and bring it in as you have better body matrix connection. Have you ever seen anybody fight like that? Like what I'm doing? You don't move that way? Very rare, right? Because you have better matrix body connection. It's about connecting with the body matrix. That's why you hit them all the time. Plus, maybe you don't like them too much, you just want to keep hitting them. You do have a smiley face and you kind of want to hit every now and then, right?
I like it.
Huh?
Venom's the only likable person here. Just put that out there.
I don't like you, right? So there you go.
You don't like a lot.
But I don't like any of you guys, right? Okay, so Julia, you picked out a complicated one. A punch and kick at the same time. How would you use that?
I would not. So.
No, of course you would not. Like your hand is coming out one way. Just demonstrate the move first. Now, get out of there, Rick. Get out of there. Big ham hog. Go demonstrate the move first, right? And then go into the next one.
I don't know. It's this and then
No, punch and kick, right? And then you come down.
punch it.
This is a
and then-
powerful move. That's a powerful move there.
And then
Chop, chop. Okay, see how they all come into play?
Yes.
So how would, in fact, let's speed it up a little bit. How would you demonstrate from the kick or from the punch the movements coming after too? How would you do that? What is it showing you? Now, hopefully everybody that's watching this is really getting an idea of what form really is. There's this one guy, I love this guy, I can't think of him, he's a mixed martial art guy. What's his name?
Bastard.
I love him. He comes out and he makes fun. He comes out and he's doing this stuff here. He's making up his form movement. And he's right. He's right. You can get out there with somebody like these kung fu guys or whatever it is, and he's going to crush them. And he knows that. That's why he makes fun of it. But he hasn't missed a joke because he's been misled by what form is, just like you guys are.
Bang.
Boom.
Boom.
Well, whatever it is, but you know, like was a great fighter. I guess he's now retired now. He's not, but he's still more dangerous.
He runs a gym or something. Basically.
Yeah, he's doing what he's doing. Right? It's just a shame that movies and the idea of people getting out. I'm going to face Julia and The Matrix. You know, you ever watch the movie The Matrix? Is the most horrible fight in the world is when they go into that room and they're fighting each other. The guy goes like this here, like the classic. It's like, it's terrible. It's just so bad. And, and then you watch the other movies where they're like blocking and stuff like that. It's just not, yeah, I could see the guy getting out here and doing this here because he's right, 100%. So if Julia is standing here facing me, we're going to fight, and I go, there is a purpose to that.
That looked pretty impressive, actually.
Huh? There's a purpose to the idea of the hand movement, which we will get into. This is going to be an aspect, plus what you're doing, that we're going to talk more about and actually bring you guys into actually becoming better at combat, right? All right, so you come out here. All right, so Julia, demonstrate whatever section you want to demonstrate. Now you already know the punch and the kick at the same time, right, don't work, right? It doesn't work, or does it? And how you're expressing it,
We're gonna do it at the same time. That could be something.
now you understand why I don't like you guys. All right? All right?
This is all great for the video, by the way.
Yeah. When Vic first moved into me, just to tell you a story, we were sitting there at the table one time, and we were talking about something. I said, you know, Vic, I ain't your friend. I don't even like you. All right?
He did say that.
You're here.
Just this morning, actually.
Yeah. You're here to learn. You moved in with a Sifu. You're in a lot of trouble. But I don't like you. I don't respect what you do. I don't respect your body movement. I don't respect anything about you. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it,
I
Julia.
don't live with you, so. I live.
There's a reason for that. All right. So, how would you demonstrate that?
Well,
Any part of it.
okay.
Let's see if you're gonna try and use the punch and the kick at the same time. How would that work?
I don't know. I think it would have to be like from very close range, and maybe it would be a punch and a knee or something, because my foot's not getting up there.
Why wouldn't it not get up there?
Ow.
Why wouldn't it get up there?
I don't have that kind of flexibility.
Okay, there you go. You don't have the flexibility. What is the purpose of form? What is the purpose of the form? Yes. So when you're practicing a move like this here, and I'm coming up with this here, my leg's coming up. Ooh, didn't you see the punch and the kick were hit even?
I didn't see that.
Of course you didn't see it.
I really didn't see it.
Yes. So there's a way of actually doing it if you practice different understanding the form movement. Not that you would do that in real life. You would not do that in real life. It's not necessary. But the whole idea of the body connection is, if Vic is standing here and I'm going this way, you know, right? But if I'm moving, I'm coming here. Don't move. Coward. Stay there. I'm not going to hit you.
Let me kick you.
All right, let me kick you. All right, I'll miss. All right, if I'm here and I'm moving, you see where my leg changes, where it comes up? Not that I would do that. It's not necessary. Why would I do that? But the idea is the connection of the form. All right, so how would you express the different, if you just had to take the kick or the punch from it, how would you do that?
Okay. What if I kicked him?
So I know this is taking a little time because you guys are observing and stuff, but you're getting a really good idea of what form work is, right? Go ahead. Just punch him in the head. No. And what did you do? What did you do?
I fell.
You fell. You threw the kick and you fell into it. When I was fighting the bikers on the street, that's all. They would have those big boots. The guys are big guys that go like this. After they threw the kick, they would fall or they come right into you. That's terrible. All right? All right, so how would you express the other part of it?
Okay. Well, let's say I just kicked you. Wow, it was amazing. And I'm gonna go like that.
That's not too bad. That's a hook behind.
And
But what if you had to express that as a hit?
as a hit, I guess it would come like across and down.
Not bad, Julia. Now you're thinking. You see how it ties into it? Across and down. What else does that do? So if you're standing here, you've got your hands up. I'm coming up. What's the first move? Here, right? Coming up and crosses down. If I take it here and I'm coming in, right? If I open the hands up, boom, it comes in. And that's where all this motion comes in. You see how the form starts expressing and comes to life? Right? How you're moving. If I'm coming here and I'm going this way, and I'm coming in, boom. Now if I take it and I come in step, see how it steps in the form? Right? How you're not falling. So if I'm throwing a kick, I throw the kick, I'm stepping, you see? Then I move, then the hit comes this way. So now I'm taking this hit, boom, and then the next hit is what? The chop, right? And chop. Okay, you see how it starts to come up? So you see how you're starting to express the form? Right, you see how this movement comes in? If Vic is standing here, and he's got his hands up, okay, and I step here, right? My step, again, just like this step, and not falling into your opponent. You don't ever kick and fall into your opponent, right? If I take this step, and and I'm fighting, my hand, you see my hand, first hand is here. So it's showing me how to come in. I can take it here, but I'm coming to the outside. I can loop it around here and move, right? Or I could just take it right from here as I step in, boom! So slowly you see this, bam! And it comes down into this hit, and then I'm coming right through with the other one. You know, it's amazing how long I've been teaching you guys form work and you just don't know how to break it down and use it. That's why we did this class. You could blame Vic for this a little bit because you should talk about form. I said, okay, I will.
Did I say that? I have no idea.
Yeah, you did. Because
That's not how I said it, I don't know.
yeah, of course you don't. You've been hitting the head as many times as I've been hitting the head. All right, so we broke down that form a little bit. Is there any other part of the form that you guys would like to, that confuse you as far as how you would use it in combat? I think we went through all the basic moves in it. So there's the stepping, the range. You saw how Vic kept hitting Venom. Venom's not moving. He's just standing there and Vic just, you know, that's also peripheral vision. Using your range, seeing where you're at. Where's your eyes as you're moving through the form? How are you seeing your movement in the form? So to avoid and understand range, when you're moving with the movement, as I'm moving, I'm present, I move. Look at this little twirl I do. Because that twirl is also, right? That twirl is also here. It's also showing me how to come in. And you know, combat with me, when a person stands in front of you, this is not a force field. This is not something that combat's different. I'm going to attack it. I'm going to use all this movement. I'm going to use this and come in. So if we stand in here, just boom, just taking that punch, I'm coming in. I'm going to come in to the body and break the body up. Right? So the form is one, I'm setting the motion up. When I come back, I don't come back. Right? When I'm coming out, it floats back. I'm not going here, here, and that's why you hit people. Because you got no back motion. The back motion has to set you up. So if he's out here again, if I throw a punch, you see where the hand's at? It's directing from here. You see where this hand's at, just on this particular move. Right? So I'm coming back, floating in. How I'm coming back is all the idea of the targeting that was missing in that one section, what we were talking about in the 4-4, which 4-4 is what you're trying to do. So what are you trying to, so we have another exercise where it's just shadowing and fighting with, what do I call it, fighting with movement? Form fighting. But you guys aren't doing form fighting. I don't know what you're doing. So form fighting is really bringing your body matrix into it. If you guys attach more to your body matrix and stop thinking about pretty or directing contact or moving somewhere, you've got to start moving a little. If you are doing your form in the ether, as I'm moving through my form, if I'm moving slowly, I'm moving, I'm concentrating on all my body movement, how I'm moving, right? Like when you guys throw this block, you're always throwing it here. It's supposed to be down between your legs, right? And the block is what? If Venom's out here and he grabs my hand, right? The block is showing me how to move. If he grabs with two hands and I'm moving, it's showing me how to move. The block, boom, is coming down. So if he's crazy enough to grab it with two hands, all this movement is just moving him down. I'm just moving. So here, just a twist is moving his body. Boom, and then you're coming in. That's gravity takedowns. We can start working with that. So this block is showing you how to move. It's also, if I'm standing here, showing me how to hit. It's also, if his hand is here, we just say, and show how to move through, boom, come through. That movement. If I open it up, it changes everything because now I'm using tools. So you got a person standing here fighting you, it's like, boom! You see how it comes down? And then here, this part here that you're doing, Elbow strikes do not work like this here. Elbow strikes work motion here. Then they move. They're not this. So if he's got me and I'm doing this, I'm not doing anything. If I change it and move it in, it's moving in. Just changing. Again, the punch coming down. Right? So he's holding, and here I'm just, you see, and in the movies you see the people go down. It ain't happening. Because they're striking with the back, and they're just doing this. And here, some people go this way. But if you got a big guy, so this just changes. And it comes in. Sorry.
Communicate space all the time next time.
Yeah. And you're already being hit, so let's just play with it a little bit. So the movement,
No, you were sick last week.
that movement comes from here. It's showing you. And the reason why you guys do this is because you can't get your body to move the way that it wants to move. For combat, if you watch a person in wushu, their bodies are amazing. Amazing. You ever watch them do like the wushu tai chi? They're like, yeah. Oh my God, the body control is amazing. But fighting, boom, it's over. Right? That's what you guys are training for, mind and body connection and health. To be healthy. I'm like 120 years old, right?
I don't say that. People actually believe that, Steve.
Yeah, well, really, yeah.
He's 47, guys.
Yeah.
47.
47, right? I've been 47 forever, right? So the whole point of movement is coming through with this. Really connecting with your body, right? You get it, Vic? That's what you're not doing. What you're not doing, you're just doing Kung Fu, or it's not even Kung Fu, sisters within sisters, because, well, Sifu likes to battle a lot, and it's cool. But you want to connect with it, and the 5-element form, which is extremely difficult, which is death and rebirth of the whole form. Every movement in that form is literally showing you what you need to do. But it's this movement that's going to help you get there. If you just pick 3 forms, I'd say, Vic knows all the forms. Suped-Up Tautui, which is one of my favorite forms. 30 moves, 18 Lohan you can do, which was like the traditional, but I was taught by that. Remember, I trained for 19 years. That was from a wushu guy that taught me that, so it's not really traditional. The Suped-Up Tautui came from a different group that was very aggressive. Then you have Hungar, 5-element form. Each one you express the same, you find your expression in it, and all forms are expressed the same way. They're all expressed that way. They're all expressed with your presence in it, and you need to discover that. And the movement coming back. It's not just going out and striking something. It's coming back. And what we did here is we did examples of the strikes, and you guys didn't even know what the hell the strikes were, how to even do them, how to represent them. In a 5-element form, they're clear, but you still can't do them. Right? So this move here is in a 5-element form, right? Right? Where you're coming here, boom, hitting, and then you're coming down, and you're doing these twist punches, and then you got these hits that are coming in, all deadly stuff. The whole form represents death. The movement in that form is different than, because each one is a separate consciousness. But you need to bring that into the forms that you're doing now and actually be able to express it. Right? In the movement. Yeah? So now we did this part. We did how you can actually represent it as a hit, come in, come around, come in, and how everything is systems within systems and amalgamates into different movement. You have to be aware of how you're coming back from something. So, if he's out here, right, he's representing the ball. Be the ball. He's representing the ball. I'm not just going, how I'm coming back. If I'm coming out with a chop, how I'm coming back. How's this coming back? And where's it lining up? So this hit was the same hit from, Suped-Up Tautui. So I come out here, I strike. If I come out here, here's a good one. This one. That chop is difficult, right? But if he's staying, he's fighting me, it's showing me that here I'm coming in this way and chopping. Or I'm coming right in, boom, to the body, right from here. Chop, boom. So that chop becomes very effective. Very nasty. But in the form, when you guys are doing, you're going, like, I don't know. You don't see all of this, and I'm coming up with it, how it's coming in. Basically, it's like bringing down a sword. I'm just coming in. I'm coming in here, boom, and chopping. I'm coming, bam. Take it right from here. Right from here, I can come into the arm. I can just, boom, come right around. I'm using the hands, the person's armament, against blocking one. Is there any other aspects of the form that Vic, I thought, did a nice demonstration with the idea of bringing his jiu-jitsu and his combat experience into it, but in real life, it's got to be disconnecting of energy, which will be working on the gravity takedown. Anybody want to add anything? How are we on time?
We got 40 minutes.
Okay.
20, and then we do a 20-minute thing at the end.
Oh, yeah. So, are you ordering sushi tonight? If not, order it for me. All right, so I have some sushi. So watch your time. All right, so any other aspect of the form? Now, do you guys have an appreciation for form? Breaking it down? Vic, you did ask me to do that. You said, Sifu, you should talk about form. People don't understand form, what it's about, what it's this. And I went, okay. All right, now you guys do. So do you see the movement that you can use in combat, in the form? But the important part of form is connecting with the body matrix and moving the different levels of consciousness. It's working with left hemisphere and right hemisphere of the brain. Right? One the creative side, the other the logic side. It's getting them both to kind of transfer, change, use different aspects. Use different aspects of your brain. That's the beauty of form work. It's really about expressing different movement. When you watch the wushu people, and they're doing those incredible moves, they're really connecting to their mini brains. But it's only for that type of movement. It's not bringing it into expression. And when you take mixed martial arts, those guys out there, they practice singular technique. You know, they'll take a technique and they'll go over it 100 times. And they're just like strong people. You know, they're practicing, 5 hours a day, whatever they're doing. You stand in front of a guy like that. Or you got a biker or somebody that's high on cocaine and standing in front of you. They're probably the worst fighter on the planet. I've seen a lot of that. They just don't go down. You could be hitting them with stuff and they don't go down. That's the other part. You've got to be able to hit with speed and power. When I hit you, you're going down. And that's what you're learning from this. So if you practice your forms a little bit more mindfully and stop moving so one system, two system, three system, and move with systems within systems, you start connecting with all the mini brains, and you also improve your gray matter. You start seeing, expressing more, you see more, your body matrix just works better. Okay? And those of you who have known me for a little while, notice that I just keep getting faster. Right? Age doesn't slow you down. But in our society, people at 40 years old are taking a bus to go to work, or go there. They're old. They're being conned by commercialism. And just like the martial arts, it's been conned by commercialism. I'm not saying commercialism is bad. It keeps bringing it brings aspects of the art out. It's like, when Bruce Lee first came out into the field, he did a lot for the idea of martial arts. I was training before Bruce Lee was out there, and the schools were extremely violent and aggressive. And he came out and started showing different aspects of what the art was. So he introduced the art basically more so to a wider community. But now it's all entertainment. And that's nothing wrong with that. You got two warriors in the ring fighting, it's entertainment. There's limits. They changed some of the rules. When the Gracies were first out there was no rules. As far as I know, those guys went out and they rocked and rolled and they fought everybody. And everybody started learning off of them, and then they started losing a little bit. So they went out to teaching because they set the ball rolling. But now there's weight classes, there's different things that you have to do. You can't wrestle for an hour because people get bored. You got to break that up. The rules have changed. It's become entertainment. So there you go. My idea of combat is facing the ring, you fight to the death. You hit somebody, they're still standing there, you're in a lot of trouble. That's what combat's supposed to be. You can't do that. And unless you're in a movie, and then you watch the movies and they're just doing the same thing. It doesn't work that way. Meanwhile, Tomosashi would always say, if he was fighting a war with somebody, he was just fighting, he would have the two swords. If he was fighting an artist, a technician, he would only use a single sword. And that fight was to the death. Or missing a limb, you know. Big difference. Everything should be more real to you when you're doing your forms. It should be real. You should be really connecting with it. Where are you at, Julia? What are you doing? What are you doing right now? You're looking at your nails. Yeah, all right? Being present is a big problem with you guys. You don't know how to be present in your own self. And when you are present, sometimes you get white noise. Right? You don't even know what you're thinking. Are you aware of what's going on? Do you see what's going on? Do your eyes take in information? That's what an art's supposed to do. It's supposed to amalgamate all of you. So the form is the place to start. If you are more present with your form, it's like you have your own undivided attention. Though your mind may be moving in different ways, you may be thinking about the dog barking in the backyard, a bill you have to pay, you know, whatever it may be, life in general. But the movement is still expressing you. And when you're in combat, you've got to be able to do that. And combat has changed. Combat has become more violent, with different things. People are using different weapons and stuff like that, which we get into. But you know, today, you know, really you want to kill somebody, you just go out and run them over with your car. You know, you shoot them, you know, you do different things. It hasn't slowed down at all. The more skill sets you have, I've been in gunfights, I've been in knife fights, I've done all that, and the skill sets have helped me against the guy that thought they had an advantage. Because they feel they have an advantage because they have the knife, they have the gun, they have the bat. And you can take a disadvantage and make it into an advantage. So that situation does happen, and there are different scenarios about being situational awareness and different things that are taught as well. You know? All right. Any more aspects of the form? Did we cover all the aspects of the form? Do you guys see the differences in the combat mode? So you really learned something today. You learned that, how to punch and kick at the same time. You know, that your leg's not coming up enough. You got to alter your stance work to make that work. It's about really playing with the matrix. Connecting to the matrix first of your body, because that's the first thing that you have. And then introducing that into the world of the matrix of everything that's around you. You're walking and your sleeve gets caught on the door. Ugh, that's the matrix. You're walking like I've been walking, and sometimes my foot seems to grow longer than the other. I don't know what happens at this. And you're walking, you just go, like, why? That's the matrix. That's all in the game. That's all in the game and your body. So what is, just on that part, when you lose your footing, what should you do? You tell me.
Find new footing.
Right, create new ground. That's really important. So you don't try to get yourself back to where you were, you create new ground. I always bring that one movie up, the Mummy.
Returns.
Yeah, that one woman that came back from the dead, and she was this master fighter, and yet she falls into a vat of bugs, and they eat her alive. It's just like, because what was she doing? She wasn't creating new ground. She's like this, determined to get back to where she was. And she's like this here. And all she had to do was turn. Right? You already lost your footing. In life, we do that many times. Just in life in general, you do it. You have an idea of where you want to go, what job you want to work, this, that, and the other thing. It doesn't work out the way you want it to work out. And then all the trauma and stuff you go through to get there, you're still trying to stay in the old dogma of your old ground. You need to redevelop, rechange. That's what form is supposed to do. It's really about connecting overall with your body matrix. Your brain, the gray matter, and the mind moving through the body. And that's the mini brains. Because this elbow has a mini brain. Right? And it's a long way. You're gonna laugh at this, right? It's a long way for this brain to move all the way down to the foot and make it work the way I want it to work. That's why you'll do stuff like this here. It will happen. It's all part of it. Because what does the body do? What does the brain do? Even though it's in nanoseconds, it has to travel. The more you're equipped with it, you already know what you got to do. Because the mind and the body melt and become more one. That's the purpose of form. It's to improve not just your body matrix, being body, bringing the brain, it's also to improve your mind, to give it the ability to do other things. Today, everybody's so focused on their keyboards, on their phones, on everything. We're one dimension. Everything's in front of us. And it's nothing, but the art will help you expand, even though that is not going to go anywhere. Today, you watch kids, they don't even know how to write anymore. It's just, and everybody's they're walking like this here. And the parents just let them do it. They just let them do it. It's like a train, you got the little one, the middle one, the older one, and they're just walking like a train. Choo-choo, choo-choo. Okay, that's the way the world is. But what are they doing to expand their brain and their mind in different ways? Julia is amazing. Julia, you're amazing.
Thanks.
Julia could type.
Go to her head.
Yeah, she could type and talk at the same time and still write what she's doing. It's like watching a kung fu movie with people writing with two different hands, right? Like writing one thing here, writing one thing. She could do that. Vic watches me type, it's just like, and I still go wrong. Well, I'm dyslexic and everything else. But the whole point is, but I expand. I play with things, right? I practice. Life is here for you to practice, not just focused. And today, you even watch what they advertise on videos for war. It's like watching a game. The guys in games, they're fighting each other. It's game, become this, become that, because that's the way they're going to get people to do it. Unfortunately, they're all fat and out of shape, and they got to work them out to get them back in shape. But, okay, you're not playing a game. There's a machine gun there. Let's go for it. All right, they're going for it like there's some superhero. You're going to get your brains blown out. That's why older guys aren't in combat, because my commander going, okay, we're going to take that hill. I go, you go take that hill. I'm going to go around. A little bit smarter than that. They just want people to obey orders, and they show everything like a game. Life isn't a game like that. You can die. You talk to a guy who's been in combat. He'll tell you what it's like, what blood splatter is. Not like it is in the movies. It's not like in the movies, and it's quiet. The only sound you hear is the person making a very terrible noise or air coming out of the body. You guys are so goofy, and yet you're stuck in it. When you watch it, so that's not going to change. But when you're doing form and you're doing stuff, you're introducing a different thing into your body matrix. Right? And that's form. That's form for, what's the guy's name? What's his name? The guy I like? That's, if he ever watches this, I got it, I get it. But that's not what it's supposed to be. And that's why Vic, who doesn't been hitting the head too many times, asked me to explain what we did. But I also, to give you guys a lesson on form work. Right? Okay? What else? Is there anything else? Because I got to pee.
Go pee, Sifu.
Do you want to do that 20-minute section now?
Sure.
All right. So before Vic talks, come on here, Vic. So he did a thing on the last one, right? So I want to bring what form is into it. So Vic's standing out here, was talking about the movement. We're going to do that. We'll demonstrate that on the next class, which will be 4-4. The purpose of 4-4 is very simple. The purpose of 4-4 is what, Julia? What's the purpose of 4-4?
Equal out your opponent. No, that's sparring. I'm not sure about what 4-4 is.
Well, I want you to be sure. You pick out neurons in your brain and tell me what 4-4, what you're learning from 4-4.
You're having fun with your friends, getting sweaty.
You suck. You have no idea of what you're doing. You gotta connect more. That's just, what's 4-4 about?
Connecting your form work into motion.
Vikram is motioning really strongly at his eyes. I think he wants us to say viewing, maybe. He might want us to say viewing, but I'm not sure.
Vic has a lot of white noise. So what were you saying?
Taking what your movements, what you know, and strength.
Okay, so
Factoring in
the
range
form
and
fight is
strength
going to be
together.
different. I'm anxious to show that, so, and you guys will do it based on what you're doing. So, of course, Julia, you're going to go home and you're going to practice now, right? Your form.
My form?
Yeah, you're
Which
going to
form?
practice your form. You're going to have a different part of you moving now with that understanding. So you're saying that 4-4 is about practicing your form to bring it. So
All your movements and specifically stringing them together to like create flow.
not really. Okay, so everything becomes form. You know, your body has a form. It has a pattern that you can't break. That's why you guys have anxieties. That's why you guys are just crazy, right? You have a pattern, and why you always want to escape, you know, looking at your phone, you just want to escape. None of these can be real, and that's okay. But when you're on the floor, or when you're standing in front of somebody, it becomes real. You see the scar here? I got sliced open here. And I was going through a really difficult time in my life, breaking up, I was young, breaking up with this girl. But when I got sliced and I'm driving myself to the hospital with my hand out the window, losing consciousness, and you could see the bone. When I got to the hospital, the guy came in and goes, "What the hell are you doing? It's like 3:30 in the morning. Can you fix it?" And he starts stitching them, and I'm watching him put the needle in there and all that. And I realized at that point, I wasn't thinking about anything else. All my problems, everything was gone. All I was thinking about was, you know, I wasn't feeling much pain, but getting the hand fixed. You know? So, in a sense, it was kind of an escape. That's what form is about. But you guys escape through nonsense. Right? If there was something you had to watch that was important to watch, you would rather watch, what were you saying earlier about some, you know, one of your ideas? You would rather watch, you know, somebody doing something, you know, stupid, right? And or getting hit in the face with a chair or something like that, instead of like actually out on the mat practicing. You know, spending a little time with you. So you said it was about form. What else? What else do you think it is? What's it supposed to be teaching you?
Discovery.
Yeah, it's all discovery. Right? Now I know I'm putting you guys on the spot. Vic, what is it? Viewing. Okay. So Vic did a whole class with that. So in the idea of movement, the other aspect of it is it's restrictive because one person has to block. And if you're not blocking close to your body, then you're going to have a problem. And the other person is going to strike. So it allows you to actually see how your technique is going. So if Vic is standing here, we're doing 4-4, and I go out and I go 1, he's blocking, 2, he's blocking, 3, he's blocking, he's blocking. Now, if I take it and target, so as I'm standing here, I'm looking at Vic's movement. I've already got the swing on, because I kind of know where he's got to go in the first place, and how I'm going to strike, or how I'm going to come into different things. And he feels it. He feels it. He already knows that he's outgunned with that. Right? And we've got to play. So that's the purpose of 4-4. It restricts your movement, but allows you to practice. So if I'm standing here, fixed here, and I throw a kick, okay, it wasn't too good. Right? So now I want to throw it, and I want to come back with it, and I see that coming up. As that comes up, right? As that comes up, because we block with, I'm going to kick right into his toe, and I'm going to push that back. Just because that comes up doesn't mean he's got to block it. I'm going to use it. So the 4-4 really teaches you how to block. It also allows less damage, unless you're a vet that likes to hit people. Right? So if you range it. So if Vic is standing here and he's got to block this punch, right? And stop retreating, right? Right? He's got to block this punch. I'm going to go here. So you see where I stopped? Here? Because that's my energy wall. And that's the purpose of energy walls. But I also practiced, the practice of the punch was like how I would use it in real life. So 4-4 is about understanding that. So before we do that, we still got time?
A few minutes.
Oh, so we're not going to do that 20-minute thing. That's okay. Let's have you and you come out here. and you two come out here, and let's see you all do 4-4. You can watch that sucker, take a peek, and then you're gonna see a video, and I want you to see how they're not that great at it. And the whole point is to practice. Practice. Life is about practice, all right? Okay? Stop sneaking up on me. All right? Okay? Go ahead, let's see you guys do 4-4. And now, wait. You see what Venom just did? What the hell was that? What was that? Was that a kick? You went, there's no you. Right? If I'm standing here, and I'm not going to go this way, you're here to practice your kick. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to throw the kick. If he's got, I could do throw the kick because I would have broke his freaking foot. But the whole idea of that is to throw the kick. So, boom, I'm throwing the kick. I'm not doing this. Where are you? Where are you? Do you need coffee? Do you need speed? Crank? I used to fight on crank all the time. That was great back in the day.
Put that on
right?
Instagram.
No, you know, like, and Saki, crank and Saki. Yeah, I was a freaking maniac, okay? I was raised with different things, okay? No, all that stuff goes up. I was a nut.
I'm submitting this to the
Yeah.
Submit this
I mean, I was a teenager.
This is why we can't stream these classes.
You see me? Yeah.
Should get a
Don't do that stuff. It's really bad. All right, guys, let's see
For
4-4.
like sake ads and then pop up.
Saki. Oh, yeah, you know, we can promote Saki.
No, we can't.
Gecky
Why not?
Con.
Get up, go to the bathroom.
All right, then really crank.
All right, guys, do your 4-4, get down on film when I come back.
Lawrence Hill's favorite brand of crank.
It's gotta be real.
It's called
Crank
real
and
sauce.
then crank and then crank.
You don't cut that stuff. It's gotta be real. It's all a part of a journey. You know, from being a kid, dealing with bikers and gangs and all that stuff, that's a life's journey. Not that you guys need to do that, but the hell of the way you guys fight, you do. You know? All right, go ahead. You might walk around with the camera and get some different angles with them. All right?
You're all right.
Yes, he was a saint.